Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, 9 a.m. on the coast. We're not really on the coast, we're in the mountains, but we are on the East Coast. We're in the East time zone, right? Okay, so anyhow, Richie, tell them what they, well, that's not exact. This is, hold on for that for a minute. Let's talk about how to get in touch with us, okay? Rose, our social media director. Now, Rose wants you to pay attention. So, Rose, you need to pay attention because I'm going to talk about things that you want them to pay attention to. You got it? Just checking. Oh, my God. I'm the old guy over here, you know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, folks. It could be just me. Anyhow, at Fetcher News on Twitter, at FYNTV. Good morning from the office. Chief at FetcherNews.com. 706-889-9700. And you find our Facebook page, Fetcher News. YouTube. We got Instagram, too. We're doing a little bit of everything around here. YouTube. Join the channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News. Subscribe so you'll know when we're live. That's a pretty good one. I like that. Anyhow, now moving right along, we always want to start every segment here with, if you would like to help with the Hurricane Harvey relief there, that is the numbers you need for the Red Cross. And we want to do everything and all the first responders that are working so hard, and your family and friends, because I've been looking all over Facebook that you're saying that are safe or you're looking for or wanting to hear from. But there's the Red Cross's phone number. I did hear yesterday, do not call 911 if you're in that area. Do not call 911 for information. Call 911 for an emergency. So, okay, Richie, the fight. What was that, Saturday night? So this is Mayweather. Now, this is not, I mean, all right, folks. Now, if you go 10 years older than me, and we're not getting into how old I am. If you go 10 years older than me, you really hear some guys sitting around smoking cheap cigars. You always have cheap cigars, okay? But you hear guys sitting around talking about the real days of boxing, okay? Now, myself, I was fortunate enough to watch several Ali fights. I watched several Ali fights. Howard Cosell, Dad let us stay up late, okay? So I was able to watch several. I watched George Foreman. I had a George Foreman grill. I mean, there you go. So I watched George Foreman. I even bought the grill. I watched him fight. I watched Leon Spinks, Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe. I even bet on Jerry Cooney one night, the Great White Hope. I mean, let's go back in the day. I'll never forget. Jerry Cooney. I tell you what. So we got a big screen TV. Now, back then, they didn't have these fancy big screen TVs. You had these big colors that they flashed through, and it didn't look good at all. So we had a big screen TV, and we rented the gym. I swear to God, we rented the gym. Should I say that? That's not really appropriate. I shouldn't be swearing to God, but you know, I'm just being honest with you. So we rented the gym, okay, for the Jerry Cooney fight. Yeah, we had all the guys there, everything, you know, Jerry Cooney, the Great White Hope. I'm sorry. I know you get offended. Sorry. Man, you tear down a statue. What are you going to do? What the hell are you going to do? You're going to drive up to Freedom Hall? Is that what it is? Independence Hall up there? Or Plaza where they got the statue of Rocky Balboa and you're going to pull it down? Anyhow, let's get to the fight. So, this Mayweather guy, what did he get? 100 million, Richie? Did he get 100 million? Okay, yep. And who's the other guy?
Conor McGregor.
All right, he got 30, right?
Something like that.
And the card was for 12 rounds, and they went 10, right? They went 10. Card was for 12 rounds. They go 10. Now, Sean Paul, our reporter over in Cherokee County, North Carolina, go to Cherokee County, North Carolina, our Twitter feed. He stayed up. He tweeted all night. He posted clips. He's done everything over there. He went nuts over this thing. So he's a UFC fighter. So in the UFC, they can, you know, punch you in the teeth, punch you in the back of the head, kick you to the back of the head, right? Trip you, everything. I mean, it's all, they just go for it. So this is his first real fight, right? Boxing. He goes 10 rounds. You know, in my opinion, if it's your first boxing match, And you go 10 rounds with the guy that's... Now, they're both winners, 30 million, 100 million. But there you go. Okay. I mean, you know, look at the bright side. Is it Mayweather? Is that his name? At least he didn't bite the guy's ear off, right? This, you know.
Showtime's the real winner.
You know, Showtime's rolling. Yeah, right. Mike Tyson's sitting on the sidelines. He's got ringside seats, and he's yelling, "Bite his ear! Bite his ear!" Sorry, folks, that was bad, right? Anyhow, bite him. So, okay, let's get that off there. So anyhow, that's over. All right, Sheriff Joe. What do you think? Now, what do you think? I want to hear from you. What do you think about the president pardoning Sheriff Joe? All right, Sheriff Joe used to have the tent cities. He had the tent cities. Sheriff Joe used to make the inmates wear pink underwear. I swear to God, I wore mine just in honor of Sheriff Joe. He's 85 years old. Now, Sheriff Joe, is that the pink underwear? Richie, let me get my glasses. Oh, yeah.
Couldn't find any underwear shots, but those are the...
That's Sheriff Joe?
Those are the shirts.
What's the name of that county?
Maricopa County.
Yeah, Maricopa. so,
Phoenix area.
Yeah, the Phoenix area, right. So Sheriff Joe made them wear pink underwear. He actually would give them dyed green dyed bologna sandwiches. The list goes on. So the federal government decided... This guy was elected like 5 times sheriff. I think he won 5 times. I could be off. I'm pretty sure it's 5 times off the top of my head. He won as sheriff, had anywhere his entire time as sheriff of this county in Arizona, had anywhere from a 60 to 80% approval rating. Eric Holder, Attorney General Eric Holder, Obama decided to finish him off. So they unleashed your tax money by the hundreds of millions of dollars poured in to taking this man down. What were you telling me about the DNC? What's your take on what you were telling me just yesterday when you and I were talking about Sheriff Joe Ritchie?
Well, do you remember during the election the whole "we don't jail our political opponents" attack line on Trump when he said?
Oh, you mean when Trump was on the stage and he said he would look into... You know, he would point a special prosecutor to look into our emails, and the media went crazy and said, "We don't jail our political opponents."
Yeah, we have a clip if you want to play it.
Go ahead, let's play that.
Every time Donald Trump says he wants to jail his opponent, meaning me, I think to myself, you know, we don't do that in America. We actually have laws and courts and an independent judiciary.
Okay, why is that important to you?
The irony of it, the DNC poured over $10 million into the Maricopa County race, local county race, and they beat him. And what did they do as soon as he was beat and the new guy took office? They arrested him.
No, wait a minute. So you're telling me that the DNC poured $22 million into this. You're telling me the DNC poured $22 million into the sheriff's race, right?
I don't know if it was that much, but it was over 10. Okay, for sure.
And they did everything to defeat him. And when they defeated him, the new guy arrested him. Did you just tell me that?
Yeah, not necessarily that cut and dry, but
in a roundabout way, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they jailed their political opponent in a roundabout way.
That's exactly what they did.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I don't know. I mean, I tell you what, Richie, it's good for me to validate some things. I sit in a room, I think I'm going crazy. The world's gone crazy, so it's good. Yes, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, we spent our... Eric Holder, you know, if we would take the time and look at the old-fashioned What is that gun running thing? What was that?
Operation Fast and Furious,
yeah,
resulted in the death of Brian Terry.
Yeah, if we would take a minute and go into that and look at that, like we've done Sheriff Joe. So he pardoned Sheriff Joe. Brutal. He was brutal. These people are saying Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Brutal. Ran concentration camps. A dictator. A firestorm. What does that tweet say? I don't have it up, Rich. You're going to have to read it for me because I don't have that one up.
This is a tweet from the president.
What's he got there?
I am pleased to inform you that I have just granted a full pardon to 85-year-old American patriot Sheriff Joe Arpaio. He kept Arizona safe.
Oh, their heads are spinning off. He is a patriot. A Arizona patriot. He is a patriot, a U.S. patriot. He served 50 years, folks. 50 years. He served our country in the military. He served 5 terms, I think, as sheriff, which he was elected. And they did everything to take this man down. Everything. Now, what does I was so offended when I heard concentration camp. Yesterday, they were talking about this firestorm. Now, I keep throwing these little tests, and Richie keeps hitting them out of the park, okay? So I feel like, Richie, I got to give you credit. I feel like it's the home run derby, right? It's like the All-Star game is a home run derby. I keep throwing a pitch, you keep hitting the thing. I got to give it to you. Now, how many friggin' detainees at Gitmo did we release? We, the American people, because your President Obama released them. How many of them did we release? Okay. How many went back to the field of terrorism? How many rejoined the ranks to try to kill you and I? How many? Okay. How many drug dealers, okay, I think there were some murderers, gang members. How many, what they called nonviolent, was it 1,000? How many did the President of the United States, okay, how many did the President of the United States, pardon before he left? 1,000 plus? How many on that last day, right? Did he pardon Chelsea Manning? Just wondering. And was Chelsea Manning convicted for giving up classified information? Was it something around that list, Richie? Right? I'm just saying. But this guy on the screen, 85 years old, ran a concentration camp. What do you got there? I never know what you're doing. Intel reports 121 former Gitmo detainees returned to terrorism. No, Richie, that can't be true. I am so tired of you putting up those possible facts. We can't run a show with possible facts. What did they say, 121 returned? Was 121 Gitmo detainees returned to the battlefield to attempt to kill you and I. But Sheriff Joe, he's a danger. He's a menace to society, right? Well, I'm sorry. I've had enough fun with that, but here's what I want to say. He has every right to pardon Sheriff Joe. I agree with the pardoning of Sheriff Joe. Sheriff Joe did not run a concentration camp. If we ran more things in this country the way Sheriff Joe did, he had to fight the battle of protecting his citizens by himself. He had to fight that battle to make sure Maricopa County, Arizona was safe by these drugs and these illegals and these gangs by himself. Just think, Richie, put this into the brain, okay? Just think, go back 20 years. Go back 20 years. And just think if that Sheriff Joe at 65, not 85, would have had the support of a Jeff Sessions, would have had the support of the Attorney General, would have had the support that sheriffs all across the country are getting today from our Attorney General. Just think if Sheriff Joe could have operated within with the federal government's help that they should have been giving him, instead of having to operate be opposed on a daily basis.
I remember years ago he was treated much differently by the mainstream. Like during the Bush years, it was almost like a novelty. It was funny what he used to do, and everybody got a good laugh. But it wasn't really until the Obama years that, with the immigration stuff and the Arizona citizenship law, that really soured his reputation. He used to be a darling of the left. Maybe not a darling, but you know, it was a novelty.
Well, Sheriff Joe now has been pardoned, and guess what? The media all said that's one of the many firestorms coming out of the West Wing this weekend. Now, Sheriff Joe, I'm okay with him being pardoned. He keeps his promise. You need to file this one away with Sheriff Joe President Donald Trump kept his promise to Sheriff Joe. Okay? Those are the people right there on the screen. I want you to take this away that Trump is beholden to. Now, I know you get concerned, and we're going to do a little research on this. I know you get concerned that Wall Street has moved into the West Wing. Folks, I hate to break it to you, Wall Street never left the West Wing. I mean, I keep hearing Wall Street is moving right into the West Wing. When did they leave? When did they leave? Just saying, okay? So, anyhow, but those are the people in America that the President of the United States is beholden to and keeping his promises to, not this establishment bunch, okay? No, not at all. Now, he pardoned Sheriff Joe. He sent a large signal that he could pardon others, and he will do it. But the controversy is he did it Friday night, okay, during the midst of this storm. Where could he find the time? This guy says, what's next? What's next? All right? All right, now we want to do this real quick. I want to do this 6 or 7 minute piece before. Look, Special Counsel Robert Mueller better beware that no matter who he runs through, let's say Michael Flynn, because see, America's not upset. The left does not catch on. We don't have time for that. They're all over. The three, George Stephanopoulos yesterday morning, the three storms that the three embattled storms of the White House this weekend, and we lead with Hurricane Harvey, and then the storm that his own party is criticizing him, that he went against the Bill of Rights and pardoned Sheriff Joe Arpaio. All right, that's one of the storms. Let me tell you something. If you do the correct polling this morning, folks, America's okay with that guy being pardoned. And I'm going to tell you now, America's going to be okay with other pardons if necessary. I promise. Okay, now, I'm sitting... I was telling somebody this story in Friday. We're at lunch with a couple of the guys. No cheap cigars yet. But so we're at lunch, and I was telling this story to one of my friends. Yeah, one. I have two, okay? The other one. I was telling it to the other friend, okay? So I was telling this story to my other friend and about, sitting down with Senator David Perdue in the deal that was made between Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer. And because I'm sitting with the senator, Richie, you agree with this? I'm going to get you in a minute. But when you heard that clip from the Senator Perdue, because you were running the camera, didn't it infuriate you? Like, really?
Yeah, I was like, why haven't I heard this yet?
Yeah, why? Right. So, Senator and my friend just looked at me and said, hey, that's the way they do it. That's the way it's worked for years. And I agree with him. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but it infuriated me. So I'm sitting down with Senator David Perdue. Okay, last Thursday. And we have all of these appointees in the Trump administration that cannot get confirmed. You and I cannot figure out, to save our lives, why Mitch McConnell is cowtailing, as we call it, to the Democrats, why they even have a voice at all. Chuck Schumer and them have a voice at all in the rules committees and all these things. We can't figure out why they're doing this. So I might have my numbers wrong, and Richie can clear me up. But so your Senator David Perdue says, hey, we're going to stay, no recess, No recess. We're going to get the job done. The senators are going to stay and do the job, right, that we promised the American people. Okay, so Senator Perdue gets 10 other, I think he said 10 other senators, and to sign on. They all do a press conference. Come out, they got 10 senators. No, we're not going home until we do the job we were sent here to do by the American people. We're going to repeal Obamacare. We're going to get our work done. We're not going home. No recess. Okay, we all heard that. It was not, I want to say, I'm not taking that for it. It was not grandstanding by our senator if you're in Georgia. It wasn't, okay? Because some might say, well, he did all this and he got the other senators and they got out there, did some grandstanding. They had a vote. McCain goes the famous thumb. Oh, where's the nitro when I need it? The famous thumb. He walked up real slow and did the down, you know, because he knew that would get played, right? So anyhow, so they voted down the repeal on the health care and they went home. So it was all grandstanding. Not true, folks. Mitch McConnell must go. He must go. There's no exception, period. Now, Senator Dare Perdue did not say, quote, he must go, but you actually look, the tone, Richie, you were in the room. I need some help here. The tone of Senator Perdue wasn't really fond of McConnell and the way he's operating. Would you agree?
I would agree. I think Senator Perdue thinks that we should be more forceful about things.
Okay, there you go. So, anyhow, so they want to go home for recess. Chuck Schumer shows up to Mitch McConnell. He says, hey, what do I got to do to go home? Right? What do I got to do to go home? He said, look, I have 25. Now, this blew me away. Stay with this. This is Chuck Schumer, the Democrats, the ones we're supposed to be opposing, okay, that we need what? Supposedly 8 more, but we need 10 for good measure because we're always going to have the 2 we can't trust. So we need 10 new senators, right? Republicans are the only people in town that need 62 votes instead of 60 because you can't trust all the Republicans. The Democrats, they lockstep. They had their 60. They got Darlin Arlen. But we need 62. We always got to have the 2 for good measure. So Chuck Schumer, let me paint this, all right? Chuck Schumer says, hey, Mitch, what do I got to do to go home? I've got 27 senators. I've got 25. I got 25 running for re-election. They need to go home and raise money. They need to go home and start campaigning. They can't stay here. I've got 25. You only got 7 or 8. You only got 8. I got 25. What do I got to do? So does Mitch McConnell say, I'll tell you what. I'm telling you for the last day, give me something I can throw off the wall. So Mitch McConnell says, I'll tell you what, all right? He doesn't say, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put the same health care plan that McCain did the thumbs down dramatically. I'm going to put it back on the floor for a vote tomorrow. To hell with rules. Putting it on a vote. You pick 3 people you feel you could sacrifice that are not in trouble. Because that's the way they do it. That's the way they do it, folks. You pick me 3 senators that are not in trouble back home that won't get in trouble, right? And they're going to vote for it. They're going to vote for it. You're going to pick 3 senators like, Manchin. He will be cheered in West Virginia for voting for it. You pick me 3. Even Claire McCaskill out there. I'll give you a freebie. Missouri loves the president right now. McCaskill votes for this. Could be good for her. So you give me 3 Democrats, the same exact piece of legislation that got voted down yesterday by the damn Republicans. Give me 3 Democrats. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. And I'll think about letting you go home. How about that? And I'll have that on the president's desk. I'll tell you what. We've got the tax plan ready. You give me 3 Democrats. I've got 3 Republicans that are going to defect. You give me 3 Democrats. Let me get that tax plan on the president's desk. I'll tell you what. You do that, I'll let you go home, Chuck. Chuck Schumer, I'll let you go home. All 25, I'll let you go home. How about that, all right? Okay. I'll tell you what. One more thing. President of the United States campaigned on that southern border, and the American people said they want the southern border secured. That's what they did say, Chuck. So you give me a couple senators to cross over and vote for funding for the southern border. I'll let you go home, Chuck. There's the three things I want. I want Obamacare. I'll just go for three. The tax reform. And I want the Southern Wall funding. And then you guys go home. You know, we can do this all tomorrow. I'll change the rules for one day. Vote everything right through. Bada bing, bada boom. And you guys go home and campaign. Can't say I didn't do my best. Right, Chuck? No, that's not what happened. We didn't get anything out of the deal. Well, wait a minute. You may consider this getting something out of the deal. This really angers me because people are going to say, well, you did get something out of the deal. You got confirmations. Folks, you're supposed to get confirmations. You didn't get a damn thing out of the deal. You're not supposed to make a deal. The way the executive branch is set up, you have the divisions of the powers of the branches, okay, of government. The way the executive branch is set up, they appoint people to positions. The Congress approves them. It's the way it works. It's not supposed to be a deal. This is not a damn deal. They're supposed to get a confirmation hearing. And why Chuck Schumer is holding the cards on this that's supposed to be a given. So put the graph up you had a minute, or the comment or the headline you had up a minute ago. Richie, the appointees. So what is, I can't read it across the room. I don't have, read that for me, Richie. What is that?
The spree of approvals still leaves the president with 147 nominees awaiting Senate action, significantly more than the previous 4 administrations had at this point.
So the last 4 administrations, how many, what's that number, 100 and what?
147.
Okay, the president, early August, 7 months into his administration, 147 still waiting to be approved, still waiting. And then you watch the corporatocracy left media with their strings pulling the claymation, George Stephanopoulos and Chucky and the rest of them, okay? You watch that, right? Joe Scarborough and everything like that. So you watch that, and they keep talking, well, Trump has to fill these jobs. He has to fill. They won't tell you it's because Schumer is obstructing getting these appointees. So 140-some waiting to be confirmed. It's part of the process. McConnell can make it happen in 3 days by himself. He don't need Chucky Schumer. That's what freaks me out. He needs nobody. He could do this for the president. And it's the most since the last 4 administrations. So what's Chuck Schumer say? I need to go home and campaign for my people. My people need to go home and raise money and campaign. I got 25. How about this? You got 140, I'll give you 70 appointees. Hold your heart, folks. This is the deal that this guy, Mitch McConnell, made. I'll give you 70. Mitch says, okay, you give me 70? Well, they go in a rapid fire in 2 days. I think it was around 40, right? They confirm around 40 appointees, something that should have been done, could have been done. We didn't need to. So they do 40 appointees and they give them to the president like it's a gift. And we're in control of the Republicans. And then they wonder why the American people are down on Republicans. And guess what Mitch does? So, you know, you hear the bell. You remember when you were a damn kid? God almighty. I know. You're not going to say, well, you BKP, you're losing your damn mind. But you remember you're a kid, you don't miss the recess bell. You'll remember that. Now, for some of you younger people, you don't remember what that is, right? Recess. I mean, because recess for you was sitting in a corner on one of these phones. We actually went outside. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what we did. But anyhow, you remember the bell. Oh, you knew a mile away. I mean, you know, you're 7 years old. You know that about the time that the big hand's on this and the little hand's on this and the bell goes off, it's time to go out. Recess. So the recess bell takes off. I wish I had a sound effect. We got get us some sound effects in the future. We're gonna work on it. So the recess bell goes off. Mitch says, "Go home, campaign. How can I help you, Democrats? I'm gonna get you home. I'm gonna get you in the recess. I'm gonna get it to where you can go do fundraisers, money, campaign, anything I can help to do a Democrat." Richie, did I about get it, or is there? I mean, something you want? I mean, go for it. I mean, go for it. Am I close?
Well, I touched on this a little bit when I filled in for you last week. I think you're close. Personally, though, I think McConnell knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, Richie, whoa, what do you mean by that? Oh, no, please,
why force Obamacare through reconciliation right now when you can essentially, like the president has said on several occasions, let it fail, blame it on the Democrats, and then you pick up, what, maybe half of those 25 seats next year? Then you can do whatever you want in the Senate. But with that said, he's letting Chuck Schumer set the agenda, and Mitch McConnell should know better than anyone that the minority party shouldn't be doing that. Because remember with Harry Reid, I mean, he let Harry Reid beat him around.
Hey, listen, I'm good with where you're going, because I'm thinking to myself, there's a reason why I'm not the guy for the job. There is, because I'm in Mitch McConnell's office and I'm busy, and somebody knocks on the door and says, Chuck Schumer's here to see you. Chuck who? Chuck who? Who? Who's the guy? Chuck Schumer, minority leader. Yeah, there's a reason he's minority leader. Tell him to go down to the other hall, okay?
Wear a bracelet that says WWHRD. What would Harry Reid do?
All right, we're going to go on that. That smoked me that he made a deal that they could go campaign. Richie, I don't. No, I got to retract that. I think you're wrong, because there's nothing logical about letting a Democrat go home to raise money to campaign.
I'm with you there.
That one I can't. That one I understand what you're saying, but who's to say Who's to say the Republicans with 60-some votes, Richie, will actually do it now?
Yeah, I mean that.
I mean they could wake up tomorrow. We got a debt ceiling, folks, when they get back. We got border wall. We've got a threat of possible shutting the government down without money in for the border wall, debt ceiling. We got a lot of work. Well, we got 17 days that the senators say when they get back in September, they got 17 days. But, hey, you know what? I'm going to wear my white jacket this week. I'm going to wear my white shirt. I got it, right, Rose? This is it, right? I'm down and out. 4 days. I only got 4 days, folks. I'm your host. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, one of our all-star panel is a candidate. What do you think of that? I mean, I'm like, bada bing, bada boom. You know, 1 minute you're on the all-star panel, and the next minute I'm putting your picture up on Fetcher News as a candidate. I'm like, what's up with that? The candidates are in, and I have a shocking, this is shocking. It's going to take a minute, but there's something very shocking that I think calls for an investigation. I will tell you this, if I have been part of any case in the city of Blue Ridge under a specific judge, I would question my ruling after what I just read. I'm going to bring that to you right after this break. Candidates, mayor candidates, it's in. I'm going to give you a little game point by point on that, and then some shocking information about the Patrick Crane citation / warrant. Take us a break, Richie.